The key fact that there is no evidence whatsoever that concludes the death penalty even deters crime effectively, the substantial cost of putting someone on death row versus the lower cost of the inmate spending life in prison, and the poor innocent minorities that are later found not to be guilty are just some of the reasons why the death penalty should be abolished. My name is Christina Krill, and have done the research on both sides of the argument and have come to the conclusion that with sufficient evidence that the death penalty should not be considered. Let me begin by saying there is no evidence that the death penalty defers crime. In fact, studies show the opposite. According to the deathpenaltyinfo.org, on December 2018 report by a Washington, D.C. based organization that promotes human rights and democracy in Iran, the death penalty abolition correlated on the average with a decline in murder rates in 11 countries for which data is available. In fact, a country in which abolished the death penalty can expect an average of approximately 6 less murders per 100,000 people a decade after abolition. While some of the victims' families may want to see some kind of justice, who says killing the person is the best justice? And most believe, why are taxes paying for a killer to sit there? Why don't we just get it over with and pay nothing? However, this is not the case. According to Palm Beach Post in 2006 data, enforcing the death penalty costs $51 million a year, above what it would cost to punish all first-degree murderers life in prison without parole. Based on 44 executions Florida has carried out since 1976. That amounts to costs of $24 million for each execution. Thirdly, according to the Innocent database on deathpenaltyinfo.org, there are hundreds of people listed that were innocent, in which due to DNA, lack of evidence, false witnesses, official misconduct, or inadequate representation, later charges were overturned, acquitted, or dismissed. Many in the judicial system in years before were not so lucky. Most of these cases consisted of the poor, racial profiling, which led to having an unfair trial in the first place. Which 96% of the states where there was been reviews of race in the death penalty, there was a pattern of black victims, white victims, either race of victim or race of defendant discrimination, or both. Another reason why people are on death row that are innocent is because they are poor and cannot afford proper legal defense. The poor are also helpless in corrupt systems that are fueled by bribes and profits, and more vulnerable to abuses because they are without powerful friends and allies. Their lifelong daily struggle to meet basic needs often mean that the poorest are also traumatized, uneducated, and suffering from untreated mental or physical illnesses. Besides, the rich can pay for good legal defenses, and many are known to have had good enough legal defenses to get them off of their charges, such as Casey Anthony or O.J. Simpson. With the facts that I've provided today, having the death penalty has no effectiveness in determining crime, meanwhile costing taxpayer a lot more than a personal life without parole. And it's also scarce to know that innocent people are sitting on death row, especially just based upon their race or their income class. There are many reasons death penalty should be abolished. Because it's inhumane, costly, and it's not in any way of deterrent of other crimes. So I encourage you to join the fight in abolishing the death penalty to help those who have no voice and otherwise would be the victims themselves of the justice system.